All right, family. We black again. It's the Truth Hour with General Sarah Sunsetti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. Ring the alarm. KingSeti.com online marketplace. Official General Sarah Sunsetti. DVD lectures, T-shirts, and hoodies for the kings and queens. African and Kemetic jewelry for the family. Fly. Herbal tonics, remedies, herbal tonics and remedies for the family. Health is wealth. We also have home decor for the family, accessories for every room in the house, living room, dining room, kitchen, and bathroom. At this time, we have 20% off everything in the store. Beautiful time to get you something nice and get you a discount at the same time. 20% off KingSeti.com. That's right, pull the fire alarm. GeneralSeti.com, SETI University, over 900 video lectures, presentations on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, mental warfare, advanced African academics, developing the Black nation one lesson at a time, the complete General Sarah Sunsetti website. Get your behind in class today. Join today and unlock tons and tons of information that's off the chain, period. Okay, and of course, General Seti keep it popping on Patreon. BPC making noise, we never calm. Exclusive live streams, too hot to handle on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? Too hot. And of course, they are exquisite presentations, especially for Patreon. And so, of course, if you want those gems and jewels, you should go become a patron today. Does not matter what tier you choose. We have 5 tiers. No matter which one you choose, you're going to eat, family. You're going to eat. And so that's a beautiful thing. Until, make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, General Seti, Sarah Sunsetti, King Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing crazy because I will ban you completely off of this site. That's right, family. Peace. All right. Third lesson up. How Jews and Europeans use Coptic to kidnap ancient Egyptian history. Here we go again. Every time we look up, we got some Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. You see? Real talk. Just never fails, We got this guy, Joseph. We're going to get on him. We're going to get on him in a minute. You see? We're going to get on him in a minute. We always got some outsider that's going to define for us, our history. And this is how we lose. Now, matter of fact, before I even come in, let me make sure. Because I got these lined up in here. We're about to fire off immediately. Okay, here we go. Now, I just wanted to throw this in here. Okay, now, let's go to work. Now, number one. Let me put it in there. Here we go. Bingo. Now, number one. Let me say this straight up. Our ancestors, beautiful as they are, proud of their heritage and their culture that is hundreds of thousands of years old, disdain the Greeks. The Greeks were an abomination to the ancient Egyptians. An abomination. Even in the Bible, and I believe it. Even though I don't believe the stories, it's something in them that causes them to hate our people so. In the Bible, it says the Hebrews were an abomination to the Egyptians. I wonder why. You see? And so when you look at Coptic, now, what is Coptic? Coptic is supposedly the last stage. Okay? I went in there and I got some things. I asked some questions and, some answers popped up. It says that Coptic is the final stage of the ancient Egyptian language, but it is written in the Greek alphabet, except for 7 letters. Listen, the majority of Coptic words are, this is all conjecture. The majority of Coptic words are taken from the ancient Egyptian language, with only 2,000 words borrowed from Greek. Conjecture. They have no proof that they got one word from ancient Egypt. Now, let's give a timeline. Let's give a timeline of the Coptic. Let's give a time. Okay. Coptic period. Okay. Now, the Coptic period is an informal designation for late Roman Egyptian, the 3rd and 4th centuries, and the Byzantine Egypt, 4th and 7th centuries. Okay? So what we got to be clear of here is that it is an AD period. Now let me go on and let's do it. I'm gonna put it in there for you so that you can see it. The Coptics are in the AD period. You see? And so really, Coptic came when they closed the mystery system. Listen to me. Wait a minute. We're gonna work this now. I want you to understand this. See, it's a usurpation going on here. You see? Let me put this in here. Okay. Let me put this on in here so we can hide this. So you can see it for yourself. I want you to say, said it, created it. You see? And so, let me take this out. Coptic period. An informal designation of late Roman, 3rd, 4th centuries, and Byzantine Egypt, 4th and 7th centuries. Okay? Now, when did they close the mystery system? About 395. There you go, right there. Closes mystery system. 4th century AD. Okay? So he closes the Egyptian mystery system, 4th century AD. Okay? And soon as he closes the Egyptian mystery system, here come the Coptics. See, I'm setting this up now. Here come the Coptics. After they close the mystery system, so because what's happening here? We got to set it up. Our ancestors is not giving them any information. You see, they're not giving them no information. They're not giving them no information. So when you're talking about Coptic didn't even exist at the time when the Greeks was there. There was no Coptic. Coptic came in the AD period. Matter of fact, Coptic came after the Greeks was gone. I mean, they was probably still in it, but the Romans had took over. So they were no longer in power, you see? And so the Greeks and the Romans had bastardized some of the population. And so their children, their mixed breed children, some of them wasn't even mixed, became Coptics. You see, understand that there's military. You see, they do that. They come in your land, conquerors, and they bastardize your race. And then they elevate their children above you in your own and make them, boule, whatever you choose to call them. You see, they give them status over you. You see, and that's what they do. And so that's what they did. They could not get anything because, listen here, if they were getting anything out of Egypt, number one, the Greeks, where is any bilingual text? I'm not talking about the Rosetta Stone. That's garbage. You see, I'm talking about on a mass production to show that Greeks understood ancient Egyptian and the ancient Egyptians understood Greek. I've read many books where they tell the truth themselves that the Greeks knew no ancient Egyptian. They knew no ancient Egyptian. They tried to say that Cleopatra, the last one, the most famous, may have known some ancient Egyptian. You see? One. So the Greeks didn't. Now, if you in there as rulers and you got power of oppression on the people, you should be able to come up with a bilingual dictionary in that time. Number one, what do you have when the Greeks are in there? And I'm almost, I need to go here. What do you have? What do the Greeks? Because, see, like I say, this is a crime. This is a crime. And in a crime, the first 48 hours, that's your best time to solve that crime. You see? Just like on the 48 hours, they say, goddamn it, if the crime is not solved within the first 48 hours, then it drops to 50% that they can solve the crime. You see? So we talking about the Greeks is the first 48 hours. And what do we get with the Greeks? Number one, they got the best chance. Why? Because the language is living. You have native speakers of the language. Champollion didn't have that. You see? Richard Lipsis did not have that. Grappa and Adolf Ehrman and Kurt Seth, they didn't have that. They didn't have the living language. You see, so the tones and you see, and the consonants and the vowels were still alive. You see, they had that at their disposal. You see, and then they had teachers where if they say, you know what does this word mean in Greek? I mean, in Egyptian, what does this mean? And have somebody of the native tongue compile that, you see, and have someone of the native tongue say, this sound go, and this is what it sounds, this letter, and this is the sound, giving tonal, you understand, validation. You cannot validate nothing. 3,000 is not primary. Only thing that's primary is something that is validated during the time in which we discussing. And so if we discuss in ancient Egyptian, the only person that can validate whether Champollion successfully deciphered metal netter is an ancient Egyptian. Do you have one of them? You got a motherfucking time machine? Y'all got a Stargate where you cannot validate it yourself. See, y'all motherfuckers ain't ready for me because I'm ready to bust y'all ass because that's some bullshit. You got to get primary references and validation. Primary validation. And so when you talk about Coptic is after the Greeks and the Romans have bastardized Lower Egypt. And so they didn't left they children, mixed breed children, some of them wasn't even mixed, in Lower Egypt and used them as a fifth column in Egypt to steal Egyptian history. You see, they closed the Egyptian mystery system around 395. Theodosius closes the mystery system around 390 and poof, here come the Coptics. You see, here come the Coptics. And so the one thing that I understand, and we just went over that. Let me get that in. And so we understand that they came in the third right after the closing of the mystery system. Period. Let's deal with that. Now, you got people in here. Now, this particular post says up to 40% of the vocabulary of literary Coptic is drawn from Greek. Wait a minute. Did y'all see that? I can probably blow it up just because it's hard to. Okay. There it is. Middle, up to 40% of the vocabulary of literary Coptic is drawn from Greek. But borrowings are not always fully adapted to Coptic phonology, the phonological system, and may have semantic differences as well. There are differences of Coptic texts having passages that are almost entirely composed from Greek lexical root. Is Greek. Do y'all hear that? I want y'all to understand that. And that was like one of the primary languages that Champollion used to decipher the ancient Egyptian. Man, y'all best to wake up out there. This is some garbage. This is some goddamn garbage. Coptic is bastard Greek. Let me move on. Listen to this. Because they supposedly use Coptic, you see, even in Hebrew, you see old Eliezer ben Yehuda used Coptic. That's what he used. He used Coptic. Listen to this. There are no native speakers of Coptic. The language died out as a natively spoken language already several centuries ago, but it is still used in the liturgy of the Coptic Church. Some people speak it to some extent as a second language. Coptic is descended from ancient Egyptian. It has no close relatives. Now, yet and still, they group Coptic with the Afro-Asiatic languages. But here it says it has no close relatives. You see? Yes, it do. Greek. That's his close goddamn relative. You see? Now, at the top, now, see, you get there. The Coptic language, listen, we dealt with that. We dealt with that one. And so you get all these, but we look at the alphabet itself and we see. Now, let me tell y'all something. Our ancestors would have never Never. Do you hear what I'm telling you? I want to look you in your eye so you understand this and understand where I'm coming from. Our ancestors would have never removed the sacred languages of the gods and replaced it with Greek. Never. They would have died. They would have burnt the damn scrolls before they would have ever replaced the sacred language of our ancestors, the gods, that was hundreds of thousands of years old, and replaced it with Greek. Never. You see, this is a sign of conquest. Nobody would do that. Our ancestors was like any, you see all people, they was giving their life. They wouldn't say nothing about the metal netter to the Greeks. The Greeks left Egypt without even no understanding whatsoever. And then the Romans left too. Listen, the Romans were so fed up that our ancestors wasn't going to get their ass no information that they closed the Egyptian mystery system. Closed it down because the ancestors had went back up the river. They had went back up at the Nile. They didn't remain down. Yeah, you had some that remained, but the most sacred of our people went up the river. They went back into Nubia. They went further up. They said, come on up here. Those who really had, and so they began to infuse their wisdom into Nubia. You see, they didn't go, so when people say that Coptic, listen to that shit. Listen to this shit. I want y'all to understand, and you know what? It's sad that we got teachers out there that claim, and they not telling y'all this. Now, as Dr. Ben taught me, when you go into Nubia had the same Medu Neter. They had some different scripts, but they spoke the same sacred language. They had the same deities, some different, but the same Nile Valley base. You see? And as I showed you with the Puntites, the sacred worship of Ptah was even as south as Somalia. You see, even further south than that. You see, the king of Punt had the cap of Ptah on his head. You see? And so, how is it that Coptic is the last stage of ancient Egyptian, which is really a Nile Valley language? It's not just spoken in Egypt. It was spoken also in Nubia and further south into Kush. How could it miraculously disappear from all these stages on the Nile, and only the Coptics is now the last native speakers of the ancient Egyptian language? Do you understand how fucking absurd and ridiculous that sounds? No other nation on the planet is as similar to ancient Egypt than Nubia. Period. Pyramids, deities, religion, language, priesthood, they was in the same brotherhood. You see, same brotherhood. You don't see no goddamn Greeks or no fucking Coptics in the brotherhood or the craft of Amun-Ra or Ptah. You don't see them with the regalia of the priesthood on no fucking Coptic. Wait a minute, let me show y'all, because I don't want to get away. I want y'all to understand this. This is, our ancestors left this for you, not for them. We can't let them do that. We got to get on them. That's why they can't stand me. I don't give them no motherfucking way out. None. You see? Now, when you go into ancient Egypt, now this is at the end. Now, it's easy to tell what Coptics look like. Period. These is Coptics. Them what they call the Fayum. You see, they in Lower Egypt after the Africans, removed themselves Upper Nile. You see, this is what you start. That's a Coptic. You see, that's a Coptic. You see, that's a Coptic. You see, those are Coptics. These are the bastard children of the Greeks and the Romans. That's all that they is. And so this is what they're trying to do even with Tut. You see? Now the thing is, and I did that, and I'm going to do it again just so you understand. You see, when they do Greek replicas and Roman replicas, they always stay the same as the original replica, as the original statue. You see why isn't there any changes in the skin tone? Why am I saying that? Because when it comes to our, the things that come out of Egypt, why is the replica look totally different than the original statue? You see? Why is that? You see? Why? It is obvious that the characteristics of the ancient Egyptians were not to white people's liking, because they would not accept them as they are. These wasn't to they liking. You see? These wasn't to they liking. And so they changed it. But when it comes to, their so-called ancient statue, they don't never change them. They look exactly how the damn statue look. They don't change the color. They don't change the look of the statue. They keep it the same. This is supposed to be, why isn't there any changes in the texture of the hair? They keep it the same as the statue when they make a replica. You see, but here they want to change the total look. And the thing is that the original artist was looking directly at King Tut. Now, let me show you quickly, how, when you get a master artist, it's almost there's nothing close to that except a photo. You see how this brother who drew this Will Smith, how realistic that it looked? An artist prides themselves on making the art look as original as possible. So the one thing when a master artist is looking at something, they try to get it as perfect as possible. So it's no way. Let me reiterate this. Let me take this out. It is no way that an ancient artist looked at King Tut and he looked like this and they created this on the right. It's no way possible. That artist would have lost his damn head. He'd have lost his head that day. You see? And so this is the thing when you look at a master. You see this? When a master artist look at, and you can see that this portrait right here, and you see the brother and his wife right there, it's almost exact. It's almost exact. You see, I'm showing you here again, true to the actual characteristics. I'll straighten it up. I was typing so fast. I'll pull that out. You see? So you see here the artist made it as almost original as possible. You see, look at this. Look at this brother. You see? Kevin Hart. Almost perfect. So when you're talking about master artists, look at this, man. This almost look like a photo. That's that realistic, hyper-realistic art. And so this is even a Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. You see? When he looking. You see? He's an artist. Look. They pride themselves in making the art look almost original. You see? No way. If you looked at the brother right here, Cheatham, Don Cheatham, and he drew this shit on to the right that looked like John Travolta. You see? That's what you're really saying. Or if they looked at John Travolta and drew Don Cheadle. You see? So this is really what you're saying when they put this garbage up here and say that this is the one that come out the tomb, but this is how he really looked. If you do not take this shit to the nearest toilet and flush this shit on down quickly, as an African, you should dispel this shit immediately without hesitation. They stealing our history, and we cannot let them. Man, listen. Let me tell y'all something. I'm like LT, Lawrence Taylor. You understand what I'm saying? If y'all don't know who Lawrence Taylor is, he's like the greatest goddamn football player of all times. You see? You know? We like the greatest goddamn, who is that down there? We don't need to do that. What's that? What's that? Abraham? What you down there talking about, Abraham? What you talking about, Abraham? What Abraham down there talking about? We don't need, what you talking about, Abraham? I'm like LT, Lawrence Taylor, goddamn it, tackling 3 motherfuckers at one time. You got to watch him. He run in, goddamn, tackle 3 motherfuckers. You see, we got to get them, family. So really, when you looking at the Cro-Magnon Tut, that's Coptic. That's Coptic shit. That's right, New York Giants. You already know. That's Coptic shit. They just like the same thing. And I'm gonna get on this Metal Netter last. We about to head over to the Metal Netter to finish our little language lessons of the night. You see what I'm saying? The same thing that they doing with the facial is the same thing that they doing with the language. Nonetheless. Okay, nonetheless. Easy for you to understand, family. So you never accept Coptic. You see, these was mixed breeds. You understand, bastard children of the Greeks and Romans. You see, and they using them as a 5th column to steal our history. Coptic is bastard Greek. Okay? Okay? Want you to know that. All right, family. The last one. Why you cannot speak the Medu Neter. Coming up, I'm going right into it. So if you about that, I know. I'm just saying, Abraham. I didn't know. I wasn't gonna say. I just asked you, brother. I wasn't gonna say nothing because I didn't know what you was talking. You know, I came in, and so I was gonna give you time enough to say what it was. I didn't say nothing, Abraham. I did not. So, brother, if appreciate you being here. That's what I want to say. And come right on over because we about to get right on this Medu Neter, and I want all you Medu Neter niggas. Go get a Medu Neter nigga because it's about to go down. All right, family. Black Pop.